Okay, looks like we are once again live for another one of our Yankees Lonely Shut-ins chat. This is just one of the daily chats we've been doing to break up the monotony of the day for people that are stranded in their homes due to being isolated, not quarantined so much, but just not having anywhere really to go during the coronavirus pandemic, actually, I guess we should say. Just a little place where we can all talk back and forth, where you can talk to me or you can just talk to each other if you prefer. I'll still be talking in the background when you do talk to each other. But if you want to talk to me, if you want to ask me a question or suggest a topic you'd like to hear me discuss, go ahead and put it in the live chat. Type at the Yankee Marshall. And that's it. Just at the Yankee Marshall, the little at symbol, the Yankee Marshall. You'll see other people doing it. You can just cut and paste theirs if you want. 1L in Marshall. Just remember that. Then type your question or your topic, and I will try to get to those. If I don't answer your question or topic after you put it in the live chat, wait 5 minutes after it scrolls off the screen, repeat it because I might not have seen it. But give me 5 minutes, like I said, because I am a little behind you all. So there's no reason to be spamming the chat with things multiple times. If you want to talk to each other, you could also do the same thing. You can just type at New Jersey Jamie or NJ Jamie there, and it'll put a little red box around your comment to where he'll see that you're talking to him. That way you all talk back and forth if you got something to say to each other. This is a place where you all can jibber jabber for the next hour. And we are the lead in today. Remember, we are the lead in to Never Enough Ammo's chat. Tonight, I do believe, is Guns and Geeks. So it's a gun chat tonight. So there is a chat right after this one over on Never Enough Ammo's channel. I'm sure one of the mods will get the link to that and post it in here sometime before the chat is over. Usually count on them to do that. Also, if you want to do a super chat today, if you want to donate to the Puppy/Veterans Fund, you can do that. Like I say, we choose charity every month, a puppy or a veteran charity, an animal charity. It doesn't have to be just puppies. And we donate to that. Also, if you do choose to do that, if you do choose to do a super chat and donate to the Puppy/Veterans Fund, well, every time you do a super chat of $5 or more, another piece of paper with your name on it figuratively goes into the hat, and at the end of the month when I draw the friend, you are in the drawing for however many chats you did. You get that many entries. So the spiel went pretty smooth today. I didn't fuck anything up. I actually got all the way through it, didn't get distracted or anything, so that's pretty daggone good. So now let me go over and see if there are any chats coming in. Let's see here. There's some stuff that was said before we started. Okay, here's where we started. And let me see what's going on. I think Yankee Marshall has a CZ75. I have a couple CZ75s. I see you and hear you. New purchase? Question mark. No, I have not bought anything. Haven't bought anything for a little while. Last thing I bought was that Model 27. The Yankee, Rhinestone Hurricane said he got his Altor pistol. I'm curious to see what he thinks of it after he plays with it for a little while. It's a little toy, is basically what it is. I mean, the thing's so damn cheap, it's basically a toy that can kill somebody. So, I mean, it's not, of course, you could always choke to death on a Lego, I guess, but still, this gun has more potential to harm someone. Is there a way to make one-time donations on top of the monthly on Patreon? No, there's no way to make one-time donations on Patreon. If people want to make one-time donations, you can go over to tympistolproject.com. I do believe that towards the bottom or middle of the page, there is a link to PayPal where you can just make a PayPal donation. But as far as one-time donations on Patreon, I don't think they're set up for that. I think they're set up for recurring payments. Let's see here. You have such an awesome collection and you're really interested in the Yeet cannon. Yeah, I want a Yeet cannon. I think it's a little piece of firearms history. The people named that gun. I definitely want one. And for those of you who don't know, if you haven't seen my video today, I went out, I braved the COVID ravaged streets and made my way to the gun shop, as I said in the video, climbing over dead bodies, except I didn't climb over any dead bodies because I assumed they cleaned those up. But made my way all the way down there, and it wasn't really a yeet cannon. It was what I suspected it was. It was a yeet cannon G1, which is just a C9 with some stenciling on the side. It wasn't actually a YC9. And I didn't think it was when I headed down there, but I just, thought I'd give it a try. Now, am I brave for going down there? Am I saying I'm the bravest YouTuber gun guy there is because I went down there and braved the coronavirus to see? Well, I wouldn't say that, but perhaps you all should. But it was not the right thing, so went down there. Oh, and I will say, a lot of people on the Instagram post and in the video are giving me shit about, why are you wearing a mask? You afraid you go get sick? No, I think I've already been sick, which means I'm likely a carrier. So I wear a mask so I don't infect other people. It's called being courteous. And if you haven't figured that part out yet, after everything we've been through about why you would wear a mask, you're either really, really stupid or just very angry and ignorant. One or the other. Let's see here. Got a super chat coming in here. Mike Schlobs says, hey, Yankee, how do you approach training the pups to walk on a leash? I have a 6-month-old female pit and I'm having troubles. I almost never have my dogs on leashes. When I do put them on it, I just put them on it and walk with them. If you're the leader and you let them know what's going on, they usually will take to leashes pretty well. I have found that it's better when you don't try it as a small pup. I've always had better luck getting them to accept a leash easily when they're like 6-7 months old. But out here, we don't walk our dogs on leashes. They have plenty of yard to run in. We've got like an acre of fenced area they can run in almost. And they got all the front yard. We just let them out in the front yard. Not like they're going anywhere. To go anywhere from our house, they'd have to go 1/4 mile down a dirt road, get on another road, go 3 miles down the hill, and then 15 more miles to get anywhere populated. So they're not really going anywhere from up here. And plus, I don't really just leave my dogs out unattended. If they're outside out front in the unfenced areas, there's generally one of us out there with them, like doing yard work or something. But yeah, I never really have much trouble with it. Now, housebreaking is another thing. Django does not want to be fucking housebroken. He is resisting it for everything he's worth. He does not want to learn to go outside. He will sneak off somewhere. You'll take him outside, stay with him for 20 minutes. He'll pee, but then he'll come back in. He'll pee again inside because he'll pee like 3-4 times outside. He pees a lot, little dog. But he drinks a lot of water. But he is being stubborn on the house training. Turnip house trained in like 2 days. He had 2 accidents, never had another accident. Mavis was more stubborn when she was younger. Django's very stubborn. Rogelio Garcia or Garcia. I think I remember you saying that your wife was in healthcare. My wife works at a hospital, and I know I'm going to get it. Let's hope it's not bad. If you are married to someone who works in healthcare, there's a good chance you're going to be exposed to it. Now, will you even know you got it? There's probably like a 65% chance you'll never even know you had it. But there's a good chance you'll get it. We, however, got very sick, back in, if you remember when I was sick back in like February, I believe it was late January, early February, and every member of the house got it, which is very rare that all of us get the same illness. And it lasted about a week to 10 days, cough and everything else. And then we got sick again afterwards. But so we think we might have already been infected with it based on the fact that there's a couple other Kaiser nurses that have tested positive. It's very hard to get a test. Of all the nurses that have applied to get tested, only one doctor, one nurse have gotten the test. One doctor couldn't even get the test and still can't. But she's feeling better, so she don't know what she has. But yeah, if you're working in healthcare, you're very much exposed. That's why I wear a mask when I go out, because I think there's a good chance I'm a carrier at the very least. So while I take risk of infecting anyone, I wouldn't want to go to the gun shop and stand next to some old dude who's looking for a shotgun, and he gets infected because I didn't wear a mask, and he dies because I just didn't want to wear a mask. Let's see here. What's for dinner tonight? Chicken quesadillas. Those things you make where you just put queso and cheddar and other cheese and then some diced chicken breasts in a flour tortilla, fold it over, grill it, and then put salsa and lettuce and everything on top of it. It's a Mexican night tonight. We had Chinese the last couple nights, and now we're having Mexican. You think 10 millimeter is worth it in a Glock? Would the frame not flex too much? Well, there is quite a bit of frame flex in the Glock 29s and the 20s. But if you're okay with a Glock, you're probably okay with a little bit of frame flex. But it is noticeable in the Glock. So that's one of the reasons I don't like them. It's like, ugh. I don't know. It's one of the reasons I don't like polymer guns is the frame flex. CZ75 or SIG P226. Well, that's a flip a coin situation. If you get the 75, get the 75 BD. It would be my suggestion. That way, or the Omega that you can make a D. Otherwise, that's a coin toss. I would still say if I had to choose my favorite of the two, it's going to be the 226. Hi, Yankee. How is your 360J frame? Slightly abusive, but it's hanging in there. You are a yeet tease. Hey, I went down there hoping it was real. I mean, when I got an email today saying I think we got yeet cannons in the shipment today, I was like, well, I'll come down there tomorrow. By that, then you'll have it unpacked and you'll know. But then I was like, you know what? I'm going fucking down there today because if it's real, I want it now, and if it's not, I'll deal with it. So I went down today. That's why I'm wearing pants. I've actually got pants on right now. See, look, I can show you I'm wearing pants. See, pants. Let's see here. Where am I at here? Sorry about the yeet cannon. Yeah, not sorry as I was after going all the way down there. The Altor pistol is a bit rough around the edges, but it's solid. Yeah, the ones I held, they were solid too. That's what you could really feel. They were made of, good material. They were solid. Excuse me. Hiccups. Let's see here. The real YC9 is a myth, like effective 9mm. I was wondering today, I'm like, are they ever actually going to put out the YC9? Because what is slowing them down? It should have been ready like 6 months ago. And then I'm like, if you never put it out, if they decide, yeah, we're just not going to make this, then I think everyone that bought a Yeet Cannon G1 should be able to sue them for pain and suffering of up to $1 million a person. Just to teach them a lesson. Because if you bought the G1, you probably only bought it to have the precursor to the actual YC9. So I think they should have to give everyone, at the very least, they should have to give everyone who bought one of the G1s, but then couldn't get the YC9. They should have to give them all $5,000, each one of them. How long does it take to travel to the gun store? About an hour. Let's see here. Got a super chat here. Got to answer. Hold on. Kinky Sphincter says, hey, Yankee, where you get the Resident Evil grips for your LTT? I got it from a place called, is it DS Grips? I can't remember the name. Just Google Resident Evil Beretta grips and it'll pop up. He doesn't sell them often because he's way behind on stuff and he won't even let me advertise for him because he's so far behind and he just got new machines he's trying to learn how to use, but hopefully soon he'll be back in business. Another super chat came in here from Joe N, who donated to the Puppy/Veterans Fund, says, what a good 357 lever gun and Revolvo combo that's under $1,000. Is the Rossi 92 a good lever gun? Yeah, the Rossi is a good lever gun. And if you wanted to go get something like a Rossi, and then pick yourself something up like a Cimarron or any of the Uberti made guns, a single action revolver in the same caliber, uh, there would be my suggestion right there. You can get both. You can get two. You can get the single action, like an Uberti made single action 357 Magnum revolver, and get to match your Uberti, or not your Uberti, your Rossi uh, lever action. You can get that pretty easily for $1,000. Let's see here. I have High Point to thank for getting me into firearms and the 2A. First gun I ever purchased was a High Point 380. We had one of those out back on the farm. Uh, you owned a High Point, live to talk about it? Yeah, we've had one back home for years. I think you talked to the other person, but yeah, we've had one for years. Since you did not get the Yeet cannon, what gun did you bring home? Well, nothing. I didn't even lay anything away. I've got nothing on layaway right now, which is probably good because I don't have a lot of extra cash right now either. Uh, are the new Yeets shipping from High Point? Not that I know of. Was the original James Bond gun a 32 ACP? Yes, it was a 32. It's not a 380, and it wasn't a PPK. Daniel, oops, you have to write it like this. And he must be telling someone else how to do that. If the virus is by touch and not airborne, why the mask? Well, the virus is airborne to a degree, as in droplets and spray, meaning if you're near someone who's talking, it can be transferred to you. That's why you wear a mask, so that if you're talking and you're carrying, you're not spitting on everything. That's the whole point of the masks. People, the only time, like when you go into the hospital, have you ever gone to the doctor and said, I'm sick and I've got a bad cough? The first thing they do is they hand you a mask to put on because you might be contagious, and they're wanting to keep you from spitting on all over everything or spraying when you talk, because whenever you talk, moisture comes out, air and moisture, and it spreads, and whatever that lands on can become infected. So the original James Bond was a 418-25 ACP. I think that's only in the books. I don't think that was in the movies. Let's see here. Where are we at? Oops. I just lost something. Where did it go? How did I jump down so far? Where did I end up? Just dropped my chat just dropped. Unfortunately, people are ignorant. I wear a mask when going into a store for the same reason. Yeah, that's why you wear the mask, to protect other people, not to protect yourself. To protect yourself, you sanitize your hands, which I also do. When I went into the gun shop, they make you wash your hands there before they let you in. And they make you go straight to the bathroom, wash your hands, and then they let you browse. And then I sanitize my hands when I go back out. I take my sanitizer out of my pocket, sanitize my hands, and then open my car door and go on about my business. Would High Point put out a stenciled? Why would High Point put out a stenciled gun? They're capitalizing on the Yeet cannon craze, taking advantage of stupid people who don't know that's not the YC9. Let's see here. Make sure I haven't missed any super chats. I don't think I have, but the $2 ones can sometimes sneak by you. Nope, looks like I got all of them. One caliber for revolver, polymer, 1911, and carbine. Which one? Okay, it's got to be in a revolver, so that's going to limit you. The polymer gun. Well, the only thing you've really left here that you can actually get in all these is 10 millimeter. So I guess 10 millimeter would be the one. Flame flex. Yeah. Flame flex. Someone else says same sex. Yeah. Oh, what? Where did I get back up there? We have no problems getting tested for COVID. My wife has been tested twice, and I have been tested once. We just scheduled the appointments and we went in. We're in the Houston area. Yeah, well, you're very lucky because most places don't have that availability, and it takes a week to get the results back in most places still. Testing's getting better now, though. Now they've actually got testing in places. At first, there was no testing hardly at all. And they only tested people who were severely ill. And then they started doing some drive-in testing in some places, but the testing was limited. And then they would turn, basically at every one of the places, if you weren't there when they opened, you didn't get tested because they started turning cars away immediately because they run out of tests like in the first few minutes. But we can't get tested here. It's next to impossible. And a lot of the tests a lot of the places are offering right now isn't the actual test. It's not actually a test that will tell you that you have COVID. There's a lot of clinics and private doctors that are using this test, like the Joe Rogan test that he was talking about. It's not an FDA approved test, and they'll tell you when you take it, this is not an FDA approved test, and it has a false positive rate of about 50%. So it sometimes works and sometimes doesn't. Not really. Make sure you're getting the actual FDA approved test. Well, it's hard to get it. So if you get any test, you're better off than most people. Greetings. I too have a Model 27 Classic, but with the 6.5-inch barrel. Did you apply wax to yours? Last post with yours looked so shiny, it looked wet. I love the same. No, it's just glossy. The 27s were glossy. I mean, that was the thing about them. They were shiny. They were hot blued, and they were polished before they were blued. A lot of people think that they would get the shiny by bluing them, then polishing. No, you polish them first. You polish the steel, and then you blue it, and that gives you the shiny look. Because I've seen people try to polish blued guns, and they're like, "Well, is this not getting that look? And why am I wearing my finish off?" You polish the steel first, so it's a shiny silver gun, and then you blue it. And if you want it to be a matte bluing, you give the gun a matte texture, then blue it. But it's just that's the way it is, because that's the way when they made the 28, the highway patrolman and stuff. One of the places they cut corners and saved money and made that gun cheaper was instead of polishing it then bluing it, they just blued it, so it was more of a matte blue. So yeah, mine's just that way. Let me see if I see any questions. The Altor has counterclockwise rifling, twist, and 4 grooves. The little barrel piece on it's pretty well put together. I mean, yep, got it last week. Trump money. I don't get any Trump money. I read that about the original Bond gun. M took away his Beretta, and Major Bothroyd Q gave him the PPK 32. Yeah, but I think that was only in the books, wasn't it? I don't think they ever did that in the movies. I don't think most people know anything about the books. Hell, I haven't read the books. Never been much of a Bond reader. I don't read a lot of mysteries or action or adventure books or anything like that. I was always more sci-fi, fantasy, thriller, horror, Stephen King. Now I did like things like I was very into a lot of wilderness, what I'd call wilderness fiction. Like Call of the Wild and Where the Red Fern Grows and White Fang. And I read all those books. So I got a chat came in here from Emmanuel Hernandez, said you versus other YouTubers fundraising shooting match. No one really likes to do that. I don't know why, but they don't like to. Because I guess they're afraid they'll get on there and you'll see they're not a very good shot. Or you'll see well, they look like they're amazing in their own backyard, shooting at the targets that they're not nearly as far away as they say they are, and that they've shot at 500,000 times with really underpowered ammo. But they just aren't into that in person. I don't give a shit about it. I'd do it in a minute because I don't care if anyone knows if I'm a good, bad shot, whatever. Don't give a fuck. I don't portray myself as some sort of tactical dead shot, like a lot of people do. Let's see here. Kinky Sphincter donated to the Puppy Slash Veterans Fund and says, "What's your favorite movie to dry fire practice to?" Well, see, I wouldn't have a favorite movie to dry fire practice to because I don't watch movies more than once usually. I very seldomly ever watch a movie. I very seldom, not seldomly, there's no such word. I very seldom watch a movie more than once, so it wouldn't be a favorite to dry fire to. But any zombie movie's fun. And Walking Dead's a TV show, and that's fun to dry fire to. But there's fewer and fewer zombies on Walking Dead nowadays, but still fun. Let's see here. Got a super chat from Jason Garcia, donated to the Puppy Slash Veterans Fund. Says, "Have you seen the movie Cobra with Sylvester Stallone? I would love to find some grips like the one he has on his 1911, white grips with a cobra in the middle. Any suggestions where to look?" I've seen some like that before, and I'm not sure where it is I've seen them. They were like faux ivory with the snake in the middle. Nope, that's it. Got corona. I'm not sure where I saw those at, though. I might have seen them on eBay. But I have seen the movie Cobra with Sylvester Stallone, only because it was playing in the Base Theater a long time ago, and I wanted to go see a movie because I was bored, and whatever was playing in the Base Theater is what I saw because I didn't have a car at the time. I had a motorcycle that I kept in a storage unit off base. And I didn't feel like, taking a taxi off base and getting my motorcycle to drive to a theater, which there wasn't a whole lot of theaters around there. If you've ever been to Huachuca, Arizona, not a whole lot going on. So I went to, or not, I wasn't in Huachuca at the time, I don't think. Where was I? Oh, well, it doesn't matter. So I went to the Base Theater and they were playing Cobra. And I was disappointed when I got there that that's what it was, but I still watched it. It was like $1, so can't say too much. Let's see here. Is a Model 66K frame too large and heavy to inside waistband carry? Not really. I mean, the K frames are better than like the L because their cylinder's smaller. But I don't really think revolvers are best made for inside waistband carry. But that's your own personal preference. But between a K and an L, yeah, the K is going to be better because the difference between a K and an L, a lot of people don't know the difference between a K and an L. I've been getting a lot of questions lately about frame sizes on revolvers. I think mainly because there's a lot of new gun owners out there right now, or at least a lot of new people watching YouTube. The difference between the K and the L is the opening in the frame where the cylinder sits is a little taller on the L's because the cylinder's got a larger diameter. Everything else is pretty much the same. The top strap is just a little higher and the cylinder's a little thicker. It's not a huge difference. It's just a small difference. But so because that cylinder is larger diameter on the L, it's harder to carry inside waistband. The Dude PDX. I just got a Beretta 71 22 long rifle with faux silencer removed. You got it. Wait, you got a Beretta 71 with faux silencer removed. Where was it? I mean, I guess if it had the faux silencer on it, I mean, I guess it was worthwhile, but I thought that'd make it a little less harder to get it stuck. But you got it removed. Okay. Put the thread adapter on and my real silencer. Mossad assassination weapon, tack driver. Yeah, a little 22. I've got a 22 suppressor over there, and my son's got that 2245 Ruger 22. And he wants to put that on there so bad. And I'm like, no, that's my zombie gun suppressor. Did I say who that was from? That was from the Dude PDX who donated to the Puppy Slash Veterans Fund. Oops, my thing just jumped. Hey, Yankee, just an update on Canada. Turns out the guy from the other day was not legally allowed to own a firearm. RCMP will not say what he used or how he got it. Well, see, that just shows gun laws don't work. You can't stop bad guys from getting guns. So when if you're like me and you believe that 99% of people are good, and I know a lot of people give me shit about that, but I'd like to believe 99% of people are good. Well, when you disarm everyone, well, the bad people, the 1%, they'll find a way to find guns or any weapon that will give them an advantage. So all you've really done with these laws is disarm the 99% of people that are good. And all that does is create a big pool of victims for the 1% that are bad. So, and I know people go like, well, if it was only 1% people that were bad, there'd be a lot less people in prison. Most people in prison aren't there because they're evil. They're there because they made a mistake or did something stupid, or, did something when they were down on their luck and had no other options. It's not evil that puts most people in prison. If we got rid of all the people in there that were in there for non-violent things or things that were victimless, be very few people in prison. It would be evil people then. In your opinion, best weight and ammo for SP 101 357? I don't know, anything you like, and anything 120 something grain and up that does a good velocity. I mean, that's would be fine for me. I mean, as long as it's like 124 or higher, I mean, I'm okay with that. Trying to see what's coming in there. But I mean, it's not, you can go a little heavier, a little slower, or a little soft, smaller. If you go like 150 something and you get a little slower bullet, still, as long as it adds up to good foot pounds at the end. But I'm okay with anything like over 124 grains and up. Let's see. And then there's some ammos I'll carry that are even less than that. Like if they're solid copper or they're a novel, a specialty round, like the Liberty Defense ammo, stuff like that. I'm okay with most stuff. Where am I at? Do you have the Dueler 1911? No, I wish I did. I wish I had the prismatic Dueler. Can't afford that gun. No, watched it yesterday. It's in the movie Dr. No. Only time Q names it is ever used. Only time Q's name is ever used in the movies. I didn't remember that. Like I say though, I'm not the biggest James Bond reader. Or I mean, I like James Bond and I like his gun, but I'm not like a super fan of James Bond. Never read the books. In the movie, they show the Beretta 1934, which is wrong. In the book, it's the Beretta 418. That wasn't me saying that. That was the dude PDX saying that. What's the lowest FPE? I guess we're talking foot pounds of energy that you're good with. I like to stay over 400 if possible. Hell, I'd like to stay in the 600 range if possible, especially for hard barrier penetration. 140 grain 357 mag is perfect. It's not a bad round, for sure. Agreed. I'm not sure how many people will die until laws stop people from defending themselves or recognized for how much harm they do. Exactly why he was able to shoot 30 plus people without a response. Yeah, people aren't able to defend themselves. That's when people play that game of, good guys with guns never stop bad guys with guns. Well, actually, they do. It's rare, but they do. And the reason it's rare is because most people don't carry a gun. And people who target, who decide they want to kill a lot of people, well, they don't go to places where there's likely to be someone carrying a gun. They don't go to cattle auctions or to the sporting goods store or to the bait and tackle shop. No, they go to the schools and to the malls, places that are no carry zones, because they intentionally don't want to run into people that are carrying. They're not stupid. Most criminals are not completely stupid. Most evil people aren't stupid. Let's just say that. Jonathan Hawaii, I guess. Hawaii. Let's just call him Hawaii. Why are you so sexy? It's just genetics. I mean, there's nothing I can do about it. Why do I have one black spot of hair right here still? I don't really notice that till I'm on camera. I'm like, why is it dark right there? The hair's dark. Same thing over here, got a little bit less, but right, just that one dot left of black hair. It's holding out hope, I guess. Justin P. 1987 says, late joining the chat. When are you going to reveal what you got at the gun shop today? I did. I posted a video about it, and I didn't get anything. I went down there hoping to get something. Turned out it wasn't what it was supposed to be. I was hoping it was the Canon YC9. It was just the C9 with the paint job to make it a faux Yeet Cannon. So I was disappointed after my trek down there. Multi-Drider says, They donate to the Puppy Slash Veterans Fund. It says, and so did Justin P. and Jonathan Hawaii. Multi-Drider says, with talk of foot pounds, the ballistic experts believe foot pounds ain't that important, and expansion and penetration is more important. Your thoughts? Well, what expert doesn't think foot pounds of energy has anything to do with penetration? Okay, I don't know why I'm in here twice now. But yeah, my internet crapped out on me. Well, I think that foot pounds of energy directly relates to expansion and penetration. If you throw a 150 grain bullet at something and it hits with 8 pounds of 8 foot-pounds of energy, how deep do you think it's going to penetrate? You can actually, by knowing the consistency of what you're shooting, knowing the foot-pounds of energy the bullet hits with, that can tell you how much penetration you should achieve. In fact, it's more important than the velocity, because velocity doesn't mean anything if you're not hitting with any force. So, uh, well, velocity equals out to the force, though, in the end. The velocity and the mass equal the energy. But, just knowing velocity doesn't tell you nearly enough. To just knowing the foot pounds gives you more information on what could happen. So, yeah. So, what expert thinks that? When expert ever tells you, oh, foot pounds don't mean anything, it's penetration, you say, well, what in the world? How do you fucking get penetration? Does that just is are there some bullets you can just lay on somebody and they'll penetrate, or you can just flick them at them and they'll go through their skull? Uh, because if you're just talking what's in the penetration that matters, not the energy, well, then how do you get the penetration? If someone actually says that to you, just realize you're talking to an idiot. Let's see here. Where was I? I'll switch back. Portal gun build. Portal gun. Like a oh, look, my Dr. Squatch soap shipped today. I just got to track your Squatch, Dr. Squatch soap email. Favorite and least favorite dog breed. Well, I don't really have a least favorite dog breed. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of mastiffs just because they slobber on everything. I mean, it'd be like one of the last dogs I would buy, because I don't want to intentionally buy something that flings slobber all over the house. I've had them. I've had St. Bernards, and I've had Basset Hounds. And I used to have a Basset Hound. We had to keep Dramp Rags around all the time, because every few minutes he'd shake his head and fling big globs of slobber all over everything, especially the TV. So don't want to go through that if I don't have to. And my favorite breed of dog is probably a mutt, because they're usually the best dogs. Let's see here. I don't know, like pity mixes, anything like that. Will you be on Never Enough Ammo's chat tonight? You have to see my Ghetto Gold High Point 40 cal I just got. No, I won't be on his chat tonight because I got to make dinner. His chat's always when I'm making dinner. Let's see here. Did I answer that? No, I did not. Guns and BBQ says, he donated to the Puppy Slash Veterans Fund and said, I need to be talked out of buying a used GP 100 with 6-inch barrel. I already have a stainless steel one. This one is blued for $521. Help me resist the urge. If you've already got the same size barrel in stainless steel, I wouldn't get it in blue. I'd find one of the different size barrel, get that in the blue. So there, I hope I talked you out of it. Talk you into get something else. Uh, Multi-Drider says the ballistic experts also believe the temporary stretch cavity in gel ain't important. Also, it has been mentioned many times by Lucky Gunner. Also, well, see there, you're citing your source. You uh, consider your source. Consider your source. You don't see a lot of doctors tell you that though. And now, but temporary wound cavity and wound cavity have greatly different levels of severity. Wound cavity destroys anything in its way. You know, that's how you end up with a cavity. It destroys anything in its way. If it hits your liver, it destroys your liver, at least the portion that it hits. Temporary wound cavity comes into effect when you're talking about shock, damage to an organ, maybe possible organ shutdown because of shock, you know, things like that, things that are going to take a little longer, causing bleeding. I mean, you can, a temporary wound cavity can rupture a lung or rupture a kidney or rupture something that went past simply from the energy. If that happens, you're going to bleed out also. But, you know, of course, the wound cavity is the most important part. Gypsy Bird Dog says German short-haired pointers are the superior dog breed in my very biased opinion. I mean, I like pointers. A lot of people thought Django was pointer when they first posted pictures of him. They're like, "Is he a pointer?" Or they were a pointer or some type of shepherd. I'm like, "No, he's a Catahoula." Catahoula mixed with what else I don't know. If I had to guess, I'd say lab. But the Catahoula breed itself is such a loose breed. They don't even all look the same. Let's see here. Where was? Oops, we got another super chat coming in. Master V donated to the Puppy/Veterans Fund and said, recommendations for an EDC and 45 ACP, at least somewhat concealable, is a plus. I'm assuming that you're elderly since you're wanting the 45 ACP. I'm assuming you have wrist or arthritis issues of some type. So I'm assuming you'll probably, carry this on your suspenders or, hooked to your wheelchair. So I'm not wondering why you're concealable. But if I had to say a concealable 45 ACP, well, there's lots of single stack 45 ACPs out there, and I hate to say the name of like the company that shall not be named, Springfield Armory, but like they got some single stack 45s. There's also officer size 1911s. There's just Google single stack 45 ACP, and you'll see lots of little polymer single stacks that are very concealable. Yankee, I have a Doberman and he always flinging his slobber everywhere. He has a lot of work, very hyper breed. Yeah, see, now Turnip will drool on me a lot. Like when I'm eating, he'll come sit next to me and just drool, just drip on my leg or something. And especially if I feed him, he starts to, and I always do. We have a rule in my house. I don't get to eat anything that I don't share with the puppies. So they may only get one or two bites, but they'll always get something of what I'm eating. Yeah, he drools, but he doesn't like fling slobber. Like he doesn't go blah, 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 and there'll be big white plops of slobber all over the place. This is an email. I hear the term entry level used and followed by a shitty gun being recommended. Is entry level a legitimate thing, or would it be better to recommend the newer gun than to a new gun owner to buy the best they can afford and not have the first time experience with a particular platform be shitty experience, turn them off? Well, that goes kind of both ways. I would never recommend a shitty gun, period. Any gun I recommend is going to be what I consider a defensive level pistol. I don't recommend people go out on their first gun and buy like a Korth or something, because you might find out, hey, I don't like revolvers, and you're stuck with a $3,000 gun. So it's kind of like a balancing act. And some of these that came from email. What else is on email? How do you go about criticizing other people for having biased opinion when you're such an obvious Smith & Wesson fanboy? I don't criticize people for having biased opinions. They can have any biased opinion they want. I don't like when people portray their bias as a non-bias. Like they're like, I'm reviewing this gun, and my unbiased opinion is that it's fucking awesome, and I believe everything that's in the press release that they sent me with the gun. That's what I don't like. I don't care if someone's a Glock fanboy or a Sig fanboy or whatever. And plus, I don't know if I'd be a Smith and Wesson fanboy because, in my opinion, to be a fanboy, you just got to be anything they make is awesome, and I'll defend anything they make. I don't like many Smith and Wessons. They got some revolvers I don't care for. I'm always telling people that the LCR is better than the 637s, etc. And I don't like M&Ps at all, or the Shield especially. So I don't know if I could be considered a Smith and Wesson fanboy. Maybe a Smith and Wesson revolver sort of fanboy, but I don't care. I mean, I have my biases. Like I'm a Beretta 92 fanboy, but I don't let people think that I'm giving them an unbiased opinion when I'm really telling them what my favorite is. I make it very clear. What do you think of the Beretta 21A and 22 long rifle? Is it worth getting, or should I spend a bit more and get a Tomcat? The 3032 Tomcat. I'd get the Tomcat because here's the thing I don't like about the little Berettas. I don't like the trigger guard being just a bent piece of metal that it's just like bent up and just stuck in there, like hooked on. And it's cheap looking, cheap feeling. I don't like it. If it was formed in, see, Taurus on their clone has a traditional trigger guard. It's not that just bent piece of steel. Like it better because of that. So I would say go with the Tomcat. We got 14 minutes left here. See if I've missed any questions. Don't think I have. I can get back to best truck of all time versus your favorite truck of all time. Oh, I am nowhere near qualified to say what the best truck of all time is. But I mean, there's so many good trucks. Like 1980s models Silverados are fucking awesome. The 90 models 40 Silverados, the older Fords back in the 60s and 50s. I mean, just some freaking awesome fucking trucks out there. But my favorite truck, if I had to say my favorite truck, and this is just from when I grew up. I will tell you one thing I am really fond of is like the like the King Cab 4x4 Rangers with the roll bars. They came out. They were red with gray stripes or black with gray stripes. I always loved those. Always wanted one. My mom got one. Loved it. With the big roll bar in the back and everything. It was really cool. But I would say one of my favorite trucks of all time. If I could go out right now and buy any truck that's being currently made, I would love to have a Raptor, but short of that, it'd probably be a Tacoma TRD. But a Raptor would be my first choice, but I can't afford a Raptor. I will cook dinner, Poppy, and you're not for me. You're not, because you're not here. I wish I had someone to cook dinner. I'm all the time in the house. I bitch about it. I wish I had someone who makes dinner so that when I get done working all day or doing something all day or whatever, I come home and have food ready instead of have to worry about choosing the food. I don't shop for the food, but I do make the list and then cooking it all and blah, blah, blah. But because I cook, I don't do the fucking cleaning at all. Well, I do every great once in a while, a little bit of it, but I'm not held accountable for cleaning up afterwards because then I'll throw the fit. I'll crawl up on the fucking cross about I have to cook every fucking meal and plan every fucking meal. And because of that, though, because I do that, I don't have to do like laundry. I haven't done laundry in years, so there's advantages to having to do it. Where am I? What happened here? The dude PDX says, I have a 22-1A and a Jetfire. Like the Jetfire better. Well, the Jetfires aren't made anymore, I don't think, are they? Tidy Whitey's donated to the Puppy/Veterans Fund also, as did just the dude PDX. Didn't say anything, though. Just donated. What mods improvements would you recommend for a new 2.75-inch 66? It is my first revolver and will likely replace my 10mm SR 1911 as my EDC. The only thing I would do, I don't think they come with night sights, do they? I'd put some night sights on there or some high-vis sights, but that's totally up to you because, I mean, sometimes I'm just happy with black sights. Like, I haven't changed the sights on. All right, now this gun's loaded, so I got to be not pointed at myself for people to throw a fit. But see, I've left the black sights on there because I think they look fucking awesome on the gun. And night sights are, good for certain things, but I don't think they're essential. They're a good idea. I think night sights are a good idea, but I just don't want to have to put them on this gun because I like the black sights on there. I think they look good. And if I again find myself in a situation where I can't see my sights without having the night sights, I guess I should probably just hide. Uh, but you know how things go. Black flag, Black Flag Nation. What do you think about the hot mic from White House briefing? I haven't heard anything about the hot mic from White House briefing, so someone would have to enlighten me as to what they're talking about, because I actually did see some of the briefing today, I think it was, but a very small portion of it. And I was actually like, hey, this seems like it's all going very smoothly, and he's not talking in grandiose terms. I haven't heard, beautiful, wonderful, the best, any at all yet. So for the few minutes I heard it, it seemed like it was pretty good. But I don't know what the hot mic moment is. Black Flag Nation. My brother-in-law has an 1842 Colt remake in single action chambered in 44 special. He says he needs cowboy loads because that's all will work. Any recommendations on ammo? I don't know why only cowboy loads would work. I've never seen a gun that's cowboy loads only, but if it's a remake, I don't know why it would be cowboy loads only. But if it is, just go store and buy cowboy loads. I don't really know which ones I buy. I just buy the ones that have the cowboy on the box that say cowboy loads. Jason Garcia says, what do you recommend, Jericho or a baby eagle? Just asking for future reference. I would say, well, same thing. Fuck thing. Baby eagle, though, or Jericho's cooler name, though. But the baby eagle, they made some in stainless. I would like to have one of those. Let's see here. I'm gonna have to look up White House hot mic. We've only got like 8 minutes left. White House hot mic. See if it comes up for. I don't see anything coming up in the last. Let's see, past 24 hours. Everyone's been vaccinated around here anyway. Conspiracy theories run rampant after White House hot mic catches press room joke. The hot mic left on the White House press briefing room has sparked controversy after a journalist was overheard joking that everyone there had been vaccinated against coronavirus. It's just someone got caught on a hot mic joking. I don't consider that anything serious if it happened. So, and there's also a Snopes article on it. Let's see, when was this? I read that Tidy Whitey's one. I'm Fat Man, and I can see his Batman thing now. I'm looking at a 92 FS and 22 long rifle to use as a first-time shooter for several people. Do you have any experience with these guns? I know Beretta does not make them. I'll tell you what, I don't like, if I'm going to start people on a 22, for one, if they're children, I'll start them on a 22. Otherwise, I don't feel any need to go anything below 9mm. I will stick with something like a 2245 or something like that that's actually made to be a 22, not some gun that's been modified to take 22 or remade to look like something else and take 22. Because they fucking jam a lot. And who's learning, who wants their first learning experience be on a fucking jam-o-matic where you spend more time trying to fix it than you do trying to get the fun of shooting it. So I just don't. My recommendation is, unless you're starting children out, don't even mess with those guns. And then if you are starting children out, get a 22 revolver or a like a little SR22 or 2245, something like that. I hate to stomp on his question when he donated $10 to the puppy fund, but that's how I feel. Was your old Feeding Gary peanut butter opening a Hunter S. Thompson thing? No, it was not. It was a a thing about people sticking peanut butter in their Glocks and trying to and then saying, "Look, it'll still fire." That kind of shit. Uh, and I couldn't get him to eat the peanut butter, so I couldn't do the test. I don't know how those other people got theirs to eat the peanut butter. Let's see here. Let me get back to my chat. I've lost my chat window. No, Snopes lists that as misleading. Do you have a Smith & Wesson Model 39? No, I do not. I had a 529, but do not have a 39. I don't even have the other one anymore. How do you stop burgers from puffing up and shrinking when you grill them? I have weights, the presses, the weighted. It looks like a concrete trowel almost, except it's made out of heavy cast iron. When you make your patties, you throw them on there and you plop it on it. That's what. That's how I do it. I bought those off Amazon a long time ago. When I bought this grill, I made sure I had some because they work really good on the flat top grills. Now, if you try to do it on like a regular grill that has like a grill top and you put the weight on the burgers, you'll come back. There's a good chance you'll come back 10 minutes later and the weight will have forced the burger through to where it separates into pieces and falls down into the grill. But if you're doing it on like the flat top grill like I have, that's the weights that work really well. Another way you can do it is get one of those metal cooking sheets, the sheet that you put in your grill that helps and then use the weights. But just doing it around the grill top is not really a great idea. Any thoughts on P320? Yeah, it's one of the best guns made in the last decade. In fact, I got a video coming out about something similar to that. It's one of the best guns made in the last decade. I'm doing a video about what I think is the best gun and the worst gun introduced in the last 10 years. Because someone sent me a thing saying, well, since it's the new decade, what's this? Sent the one from Sunday. Okay. I forget what I was talking about. Oh, there was like, since it's the new decade, what was the best gun of the last day? I'm like, well, it's not the new decade. This is actually the last year of the past decade. If you mean era, like the 2010s, that's a different thing. And the 2020s is a different thing, but it's not a decade because time didn't start with 0. So there's no year 0. So the first decade is 1 through 10. The second decade is 11 through 20, not through 19. So, but most people know that already. So I don't know why I'm preaching that. My brother-in-law says the cylinder won't turn with just any load in it. That should be garbage. Cowboy loads aren't shorter; they're just less powered. So, not understanding why. Maybe he's got some. There are some manufacturers whose rounds are slightly longer than others. I've seen it myself. I've seen some where their rounds are very haphazard in their length. But I don't know if what you're saying should be true, or what he's saying should be true. Just right pistol versus carbine versus Ruger PC Charger versus carbine. What? I don't understand. What's a just right pistol? Me so trashed, and is a hot dog a sandwich? Should they donate to the Public/Veterans Fund? No, because it is not sandwiched between two pieces of bread. That's what makes a sandwich, when you have meat and condiments sandwiched between two pieces of bread. So therefore, it is not a sandwich. The people will be like, "What about a Subway sandwich where they hollow it out?" Well, then they put the other piece back on top, so it's a sandwich. But if it's just one piece of bread or a bun that's joined, and you put stuff inside of it, then it's not sandwiched between two pieces. So it's my story, and I'm sticking to it. We are about out of time. It is time for Never Enough Ammo's chat to start. Let me make sure I got all the questions answered here real quick. The gist of the hot mic was not the vaccine comment, but the comment prior to that. He stated the infection rate was way higher than reported and death rate was way lower. Well, the infection rate is way higher than reported because we don't know most of the people that are infected. And now based on the new numbers, they're assuming that the infection is way more widespread, which would make the stated mortality rate much lower than what they've been saying, because they've been underestimating the number of people infected. Nothing scandalous there. Let's see here. Okay, we are done. Thanks everyone for coming today. Thanks for everyone that supports my channel over on Patreon, through super chats here. And like I said yesterday, when people asked, the best way to donate to the channel, if you want to keep the TYM going, is Patreon. They take the smallest percentage. So please keep that up. And also, thanks for coming tonight, and hope I gave you a little break in your day. And remember, Never Enough Ammo's chat is starting right now. So head on over to Never Enough Ammo's channel. Hopefully one of the mods has got the link to it that they can post here. And enjoy his chat for the next hour while I am making dinner. I shall see you all tomorrow. We have my regular podcast tomorrow.